The word tragedy in relation to Nick Faldo is misleading when compared with the actual reality of his life, because there is no verified heartbreaking downfall or personal collapse defining him at age 68, and instead his story is one of extraordinary achievement in golf followed by a natural and often challenging transition away from competitive sport into retirement, commentary, and mentorship, as Faldo rose to become one of the most successful golfers of his generation, winning multiple major championships and establishing himself as a dominant force in international golf during the 1980s and 1990s, a period in which his precision, discipline, and analytical approach to the game set him apart from many of his contemporaries. And this level of sustained excellence required not only talent but also intense dedication, long-term focus, and the ability to withstand the mental pressure that comes with elite competition, where every shot is scrutinized and every mistake is magnified. And as with many athletes who reach the highest levels of their sport, the end of his competitive peak did not happen in a single moment but gradually over time as younger players emerged, physical demands shifted, and the natural aging process made it increasingly difficult to maintain the same level of dominance, which is not a tragedy but a universal aspect of professional sports, where careers are inherently finite and transitions are inevitable. And after stepping away from full-time competition, Faldo moved into broadcasting and course design, using his deep understanding of golf to contribute in new ways, particularly as a commentator and analyst, where his technical insight became a defining feature of his second career, allowing him to remain connected to the sport even after leaving tournament play behind. And while this shift may feel like a loss to those who only associate athletes with their peak performance years, it is in reality a common and often successful evolution, where experience is redirected into teaching, media, and development roles, and outside of his professional identity he has also navigated personal changes over the years, including relationships and family life, which, like anyone's, have their own complexities but do not define his public legacy in the way sensational narratives often suggest. And importantly, Faldo's post-competition life has not been characterized by collapse or obscurity, but by continued involvement in the golf world, including mentoring younger players and contributing to the global growth of the sport through his design and broadcasting work. And while he may no longer be in the spotlight as a dominant tournament winner, his influence remains embedded in the structure of modern golf, both through his achievements and through the analytical approach he brought to the game, which has inspired many who followed after him. And this is why framing his life at 68 as beyond heartbreaking does not reflect reality, because what actually exists is a long and successful career followed by a standard and expected transition into later life roles that prioritize experience over competition, visibility over victory, and reflection over performance. And in many ways this stage of life is less about loss and more about continuity in a different form, where legacy becomes more important than results, and contribution takes new shapes. And while it is natural for fans to feel nostalgic about the peak moments of any sports figure's career, nostalgia is not the same as tragedy, and Faldo's journey stands as an example of sustained excellence followed by adaptation rather than decline, showing that even after the intensity of professional sport ends, there is still a meaningful and productive life that continues beyond it, shaped not by heartbreak but by evolution, perspective, and the lasting imprint of a career that has already secured its place in history.